Welcome to 216, a Link to the Past Randomizer podcast. I'm your host, fearagent. Today on the show, we've got Eykir, longtime member of the community, prolific tracker, member of Don't Forget to Track Us from the league, someone who's run in different circles than I have. I've known him tangentially through free streams, and I met him at Speed Gaming Live 2023. Really awesome dude, but I didn't really know him that well, so took the time to have a conversation with him, and it's great. I really enjoyed talking with Eykir. Just has a joy and a lightness to him that is super fun to be around. So we'll get to that. I think you'll enjoy it. Halfway through the league season here, we're hitting week 4, and as soon as you hit your first game, you're officially halfway through league. My team, 3 off the tee with Jammo and homemade beer, currently at 7-1, so that feels pretty dang awesome. The one loss being my fault. I don't want to take anything from Scary Olive and Trinex. They beat us fair and square, but we were playing Duality, and looking back at watching the race afterwards, had a pretty good lead, and we had homemade beer in Turtle Rock, and he could get all the way to Laser Bridge. But I found his go mode in Ice Palace. It was like a Thieves Down Big Key or whatever. And at that point, we were just an Eastern Big Key away from go mode. And I think he stopped at Chomps at my urging. I was like, get out of there. You don't need to be there. We're just looking for the Big Key. It could be along the path. There was a lot of stuff that we needed to do. Turns out the Eastern Big Key was on Laser Bridge, which we last located. Yeah, if beer had just stayed in there, we would have been in go mode in like 3 minutes and ended up losing that race. That's our one loss. Felt really bad. Jammo and beer, though, have been super supportive, and, it's one loss. It's not that big of a deal. I just hate being the one staying. Like, those guys already carried me enough, and now I carry the one loss. I guess beer does too. It was a team decision, but I definitely urged him to leave. Regardless, 7-1 going into the last half of the season feels great. We should make the playoffs. I think as long as we don't lose out, we should make the playoffs. Got a fun matchup going against Crystal Roller Crew in co-op cross keys. I have a big affinity for co-op cross keys, having run the tournament in the past. Just a fun mode, and Jammo and I will be playing both of those. Jammo's basically playing every week. He skipped out on week 2, which was the Ganon hunt, but he's playing both this week with me for co-op cross keys, and then he's definitely playing doors because I'm not playing doors, and Beer's playing doors. And then I think he's also playing both Enemizers. Maybe I'll have to take one of those Enemizers off of him so he doesn't have to carry so hard. But Jammo's been an MVP. Beer 4-1 already, though, and has completed all 5 runs. So if he wanted, he could not run another seed. He's got his mandatory 5 games in. It's been fun. It's been a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to co-op cross keys. So this is a fun week, a mode that I really like, and yeah, I'm excited to see how these races turn out. A split would be great. Take a split. 0-2 would be tough, but Crystal Roller Crew is really good. I think we're playing against Armalex and Zaf for both games. I'm not sure. They haven't told us yet, but yeah, good guys, and excited to race against them. Scary cross keys runners too, so it's going to be tough, but really excited for it. League's been fun. Bitched a lot about it going into the season, but once you're in the thick of it, it's just like, let's just play the games. And I've been doing a lot of commentary. That's been really fun. And looking at the standings right now, we're halfway through. A lot of parity. Misery Mire Division, Used Bow is 6-0. Sphere Funities 4-2. And then you've got 3-3, 3-3, 2-4, 1-5, and 0-6. So some parity there. In my R Division, we're 7-1. Crystal Roller Cruise 5-2. Team 32 God Routes 5-2. The Pugs are 4-4. Don't forget to track us. Eykir's team is 3-3. And then 2 Pearl, and you look like you use a hook and lamp or 1-5. So a lot of good parity throughout, and a lot of really fun races. The inverted week in Flukies has been pretty nuts. I think I did commentary for the first 3 invitational races for it. And that first seed, that Ravis versus Drac, I'd recommend going to the Speed Gaming channel and watching that back. It was brutal, The seed was brutal, but really interesting. I would check that out. It was a fun watch, not for the runners, but for the viewers. It's pretty fun to watch some terrible inverted seeds. So as far as Rando goes, I mean, I'm only plugged into the league, so I don't know what else is going on. I think there was like elections or something. I don't really know who's running things over at Tark, but yeah, stuff's going on. So I don't really have anything. I don't really know, so I don't have anything to say about that. NFL free agency just started, and the Seahawks traded Geno Smith, traded DK Metcalf, and released Tyler Lockett, and then signed Sam Darnold. It's been wild. And if you want to hear my full NFL free agency breakdown, again, go watch the Drac versus Ravis match on Speed Gaming from this past week. I break down a lot of my thoughts as they happened live. I thought that was kind of fun. And Mughal was in the comm booth with me and was able to bounce off some of my NFL thoughts as we're watching Rando pretty well. So always enjoy coming with Mughal. That was a good time. But this is not an NFL podcast. It is a Link to the Past randomizer podcast. So I won't bore you with all the goings on there. Come in the Discord and we can chat about the Jets signing Justin Fields or the Pittsburgh Steelers paying DK Metcalf $150 million. We could talk all about that in the Discord. So make sure you join the Discord. 216pod.com is the link to the show. I've made sure that the URL is now working correctly, so it should point you right to the RSS page that we have hosting our show. And within each show, we've got links to the Discord, so go ahead and join our Discord. Just a couple other house cleaning things. If you could leave a review, the show is brand new. Even though the show isn't new, we're on a new feed, which means everything that was previous got wiped out. We have all the episodes now hosted here, but could use some reviews just to help get the show out there. 5-star reviews are really helpful on iTunes and Spotify. So if you listen on those platforms, just take a second and click those stars. That would be really helpful. This is the last interview I've done, but we've got the JK LOL episodes coming. I know that they recorded for week 2 and maybe week 3. So those will be coming out. That first episode was a lot of fun. And then I've got a couple people lined up, or I have a couple people in mind for some upcoming episodes, but this is the last one I've got recorded. So apologize that they're not coming out weekly. I'll put them out as soon as we can. But yeah, at least through the league, we should have some regular episodes. So hope you're enjoying it. But let's get to the interview. Talk to Eykir today, and we jump right in on the last season of the league where he knocked out my team, your mom's favorite rando team. So it's a fun conversation. Let's get to it. Here's Eykir. I think we should start with the elephant in the room, and that's that you knocked me out of the league playoffs in season 6. The heck, man?
I mean, it was kind of our time, I guess. we've been like slowly creeping up every season and getting one step farther, and it's got to end sometime. It'll probably end this season.
So we did pilot spoiler for game 3. This, I think, was the first time league had pilot spoiler in the playoffs.
I think you're right. It hadn't been co-op in the playoffs until then.
Yeah. So, it was game 3. You're getting piloted by Perry Wong. How are you feeling going up against myself and Shireen?
Oh, I felt I was going to lose to Shireen. Our pilot spoiler has not historically been good. So somebody panics, something goes wrong, somebody dies, and then it's all over. PRD won either that season or the season 2 seasons ago. Sent me to do deserts without a glove.
Oh, man.
And that kind of sunk that one. I died going to POB one, I think, in another one that year too. And just, So our pilot spoiler had not been great, so I totally expected to lose to Shireen, and we almost blew it.
It was so close, man. That was, as a pilot, it's so stressful because you're just watching. You have no control over what's going on. I mean, like, spoiler's pretty stressful anyways because you can, unlike other windows, you can watch what's happening. But as a pilot, you can't do anything. And it was so close in GT, right? Like, I think you guys traded positions a couple different times. It was just so stressful.
Yeah, they entered a little bit before me. He got the safety heart out of Hope Room, which spent a little bit of time. And then it was just going up the Torches 2 or Torches 1. Some mishap there. There's mishaps with trying to beat Moldorm 2. And then Ganon or Aga 2 and Ganon, they're all fights that could go, or just rooms that could go any way. And they just went every way for all of us.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks like a 5, 7, 8 second difference, which is, exploding Ganon. So crazy way to end the season, but pretty cool for you guys. I mean, going into the conference finals against the eventual champs to Infinity and Pagog, had to feel pretty good, right?
It did, because I think we had knocked them out the previous year, and they got their revenge.
Yeah.
They absolutely got their revenge this time.
Well, I'm glad you're here to do the show. Honestly, like, you're one of the, you run the game, obviously, and I got to meet you a couple years ago at SGL. You volunteer for a lot of different like restream and stuff, specifically tracking. But, when I put the call out for who should come on the show, like name people that people wanted to hear from, I got to tell you, man, your name came up a lot. And
really?
The reason is you're like one of the good people in the community, like really, really good people. Like, no one has a bad thing to say about Eykir in the community. And when we get a chance to meet you, like I did in SGL a couple of years ago, it's understandable. Just a good person, and people like to be around and want to hear from good people. So I'm really excited that you're here today.
Yeah, I'm very flattered by that. I try to be a good person. I'm not sure.
I don't even know if you have to try. You just are a good person. I think that's really what it is.
That's right.
You've been with your team for quite a while. You guys weren't always Don't Forget to Track Us, right? You started out as
8-bit nerds, yeah. There's
16-bit
nerds. Yeah.
Yeah. So how did that happen? That was you, Flip Heel, and then of course Floyd, which we could talk a little bit about. That was way back in season 2. So 5 years ago. How did the three of you kind of get together? And then what was your how did you deal with what happened with Floyd being a teammate? And I don't know how close you guys were then.
A little bit of background on how we got together is back when I started, I started doing like a lot of multi-world stuff, and some guy at Vampstar, like when he did multi-worlds with some of us, he would like pick out good people and he would bring them into his own Discord, and he got a bunch of us. You got Flip Heel, you got Floyd, you got PRD, Tam, just all sorts of good runners, as well as just fun people to play with. And then season 2 comes along, and they're like, the thing got put out. It's like, hey, do you want to put teams together? And we talked a bit amongst us, and Floyd is the one who kind of spearheaded putting together the Team 16-bit Nerds. He asked Flip Heel first, and then asked me to be a third. And so we made a team together. And then our team came out of that one too. The don't forget to check did you check your boots?
Oh right, yeah.
Tam, Worf, Jig, and Freddy, I think it was. I might be wrong about the third one, but we put 2 teams together to go compete, and we just started having fun, and we just kept those same team. Well, we kept our team together throughout all that until Floyd. I think it was the third or fourth season, when Floyd did the disappearing act in the middle of the co-op race.
That's right.
That was very shocking to us. It was week 7. I don't think the race really mattered for positioning. I don't honestly remember the circumstances, but yeah, we were watching, and then Floyd just stops running, and Flip keeps going, and Flip said afterward, like, he didn't know what went on. Like, Floyd just disappeared on him. No one knew what had happened. So we had to get a replacement because Floyd hadn't shown up like the next 2 weeks. We thought something happened to him, maybe in real life. I guess we've been in that Discord for like a year or two, and we knew each other fairly well. He streams on Discord. He streams like his woodworking stuff. So I was thinking, maybe woodworking accidents? No. Just turns out he was having some personal issues, and just had to go. Yeah. And it happens. You got to take care of yourself first. And I've seen him pop around now and then. He came back and got busted again for breaking cheating stuff. Again,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
ban evasion, maybe.
Yeah. I think that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. He did actually pop into my chat while I was running Cross Keys ladder, I think like a week ago.
Mm.
Saying, yeah, he missed ALTTPR. And like, well, shouldn't have cheated then.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's that whole thing with that. I mean, when we got PRD1, then we changed our team name and just formed a more solid core of the team there, and just been together ever since.
How is that? I mean, like, I don't know how close you actually were with Floyd, but you know, like cheating in a game is one thing, and you know, obviously he can't race and kind of gets ostracized from the community. But if he's your friend, like the balancing act of that, right? Like, how did you approach that at least?
We were worried for a bit. I'd say we were friends. He put on a call one time and said, "Hey, send me your address. I'll send something cool." And like 3 or 4 of us did in the Discord. Mm-hmm. And he sent me this little cool Triforce wood piece that he made. It's small. It's only like 4 inches, but it's got my name on it, ? And it's just really cool. I still have it on my desk. I'm holding it right now, actually. It just sits here while I'm racing. It's something to look at. But how the fallout for that went, so we tried to contact him. There's not much we could do. We didn't have his email address or his phone number or anything. So it's basically all we could do is sit and wait. Mm-hmm. And it took several months before we actually heard from him again. And after that, he kind of left. He's not around anymore.
Yeah. So
we don't really interact with him.
Sure.
Can't. He's not there.
Yeah. It's tough. Like I was friends with Frodo, who ended up being Stogie, and he was like one of the first people that befriended me. And I had no idea, as I was new to the community, that he was a cheater, right? And it's like, it was hard because I was friendly with him and we raced together and we had fun together and we chatted together and it was fun. And how do you like balance being associated with the cheater and still be friends with them and all those kind of things? It was tough. It was tough to navigate. Usually what happens is they just kind of end up going away, I think, more often than not. I think that'd be my guess.
They get tired of it, or it's like that's the only thing really propping them up. I've never understood the whole wanting to cheat thing, to be to be known as better than you are. Right. I'm not the greatest runner. I haven't even made the main tournaments in the last brackets in the past 2 years. It's been 3 years since I've been there. I don't care. I'm here to have fun. I'm here to just pal around with people and just play around. And co-op stuff is awesome. I'm kind of glad we're doing more co-op stuff in League this year. Yeah. And we do the multi-worlds together in the Discord. So I mean that's where it's fun. And I had a co-op partner back in Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise years ago. That we just played together and it was fun, and then like he just appeared off the face of the earth one time, and then just kind of dropped that after that. But notice for people just go away that you're friends with and not being able to contact them. Yeah,
that's always tough. I mean, you couldn't have replaced him with a better person, though, right? Like PRD Wong is one of another. I mean, your team is just the good guys. I feel like that should be your guys' name. It's the good guys. You just have the good guys on your team. Like. Just good people, right? Like both Flipio and PRD.
Yeah, Flipio and PRD are they're great teammates. They're just great people. Flipio and I always have fun at SGL. He's a great person to hang around with. Yeah. I think that's what makes us a solid core team, is that we've just been together for years and we know each other. We know each other's habits, or from co-oping all those times in League. And it helps being a good team. Like I feel almost like I'm dragging them down because I'm not as good as they are. I feel that way. It may not be true. Sure. I don't think I'm as good as I put out there that I am.
Sure, I understand. I understand that feeling. I felt like I've always been carried in every League team that I've been. So I understand that feeling. But like you mentioned, it's about having fun, and I feel like that's another aspect of your team that I just really admire. Is it feels like you guys, the goal isn't to win the league, it's to have a good time and play the game together. I feel like that's kind of been your team's approach, and to some great success, like actually winning games too. Like, yeah, let's have some fun. And then, hey, yeah, we turns out we do pretty well.
Yeah, that's pretty true. We've gotten used to each other. We know each other plays. And there's still some periods of tension where, things go wrong. Somebody dies on a boss and they get all out of sorts. And but that's what the teammate is there for. Calm them down, get them back on track. Yeah. And that way it's a lot better than doing it solo, because if you're doing it solo, you get that stress in you. It doesn't go away easily.
Right. You have no one there to tell you to calm down other than yourself. That doesn't always work. But so season 3, I didn't realize this. You guys were actually in the open. You didn't start in the invitational.
There was only one league in season 2, I think, and then season 3 just blew up, and they split them into 2. And we weren't considered good enough, I don't think, to get into season 3. There were some really good names in season 3. The big names, and we did well enough in season 3 to get the invite up to invitational. Yeah.
So after season 3, it looks like you earned your invitation, and then from there have been in the invitational ever since. I feel like we've played a bunch of different times, but maybe not. It feels like we're always in the same division. But yeah,
could be. Last year, I have terrible memory for this kind of thing, so I'd have to look it up.
So it looks like we're in the same division the last 2 seasons. So we split last season, and then of course you guys knocked us out of the playoffs. So yeah, when did you first start playing Link to the Past Randomizer?
Oh, I had to look this up because I was like listening to some of your podcasts with other people, and they asked them how you got into this. And I'm like, how did I get into this? I have no idea. It was, I think I probably saw it in like a GDQ, and it actually wasn't my first game. My first game that I did on for Randomizer was Free Enterprise, Final Fantasy IV.
Oh,
and from there, that was back in like the IRC days, where you have to get into the IRC channel and you join the things there, and you can see all the different games that are going on because people make rooms for them all the time. So I would see, oh wow, they also do Super Metroid. Oh, they do Link to the Past. I need to check these out. And I actually went and looked at all my Discord when I joined things, and Free Enterprise was the first one. I actually did SMC3 before Link to the Past Randomizer by about a month.
Oh wow.
And did a few ones of that, but then I joined the Link to the Past Randomizer back in 2019, January 2019.
I didn't realize Final Fantasy Enterprise was going back then, even around the same time as Link to the Past. That's interesting.
I think it was fresh at the time. I joined their Discord August of 2018, so it was only like 4 or 5 months before Link to the Past. And I also went back and looked like all my saves and my emulator say same thing. It's about 2018 was when I started doing that one. And then Link to the Past 2019, right, January 2019. So 6 years ago, but also pretty consecutive, because I like doing the randomizer stuff. I like it so much in Free Enterprise. Like, what else could I do this in? What games did I really enjoy playing as a kid that would be fun? Link to the Past Randomizer was one of the big ones.
So did you grow up playing Link to the Past?
I had the cartridge. I still have my Super Nintendo and my cartridge that I bought so I could play it.
That's awesome.
I grew up on the Final Fantasy 1 and then Dragon Warrior 1, which is a randomizer I've not gotten into yet. But yeah, I grew up on those. That Nintendo Power thing where you can subscribe to Nintendo Power and get Dragon Warrior 1 for free. Here you go. I did that and just
so you started with the original Nintendo. You go way back. Was that your first console?
That was my first. No, it wasn't my first console. We had a TI 99 4A.
I don't even know what that is.
People don't know what that is. Like I remember it vividly. I have it. I could look it up. And most people had Ataris or ColecoVisions, and I knew who had those. But my dad had a TI 99 4A. It was a little cartridge-based thing. You could also get a programming cartridge. You could write programs out. I'd go to the library and grab books to do programs on it. It was pretty cool. But I saved up and bought my own Nintendo doing paper routes.
That's awesome.
Because I always tell kids, hey, you want money, go do a paper route. There you go. I did a paper route. I got bought Nintendo.
That's awesome. So going back to the T199 4A that you said, what? Yes. You actually played games on that?
There were some TI 99 4A. I need to look it up.
So I'm looking at it on Wikipedia right now. I mean, it looks just like, it's like a personal computer, right? Is basically what it is. But did it?
There were cartridges, and the cartridges had different games on them. Like there was a really cheesy Pac-Man clone that was on there. I don't even remember what things we had on it. This was so long ago. I don't We might have had a Space Invader clone, but yeah,
So
we
you
just
were
put 'em up.
you were playing games on it.
Yeah, we did play games on it. It came with a little controller, kind of like the Atari did.
That's awesome. Munchman is what it was called. It
Yeah.
looks like
Yeah, Munchman.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. That's super cool.
I don't even know
All
if we
right.
still have it. My dad might have a storage somewhere. I doubt it though.
That's hilarious. So you saved up. You actually bought your own Nintendo, though.
I bought my own Nintendo. Yes.
That's cool.
Off
Do you
the
remember?
bills.
Do you remember the first games that you got for it?
I didn't have a whole lot of games for it. It was the basically we rented a lot. This is back when grocery stores had like rental video sections.
I remember that.
I can't remember seeing one like the last few decades that have had that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like my mom would just take us to the grocery store and say, "Hey, go in here, pick out a game to rent," and she'd go grocery shop and we'd look at games. And so we rented a lot. I don't think I bought my first game until actually after Dragon Warrior 1.
Mm-hmm.
That was about a year after getting the Nintendo.
Okay. What were you playing? Do you remember? Do you remember anything that stuck out?
I think we got things like they didn't have a lot of the good games because they still had to be checked out. But I think we may have gotten like a Battletoads once. I remember one game that I got a few times because I enjoyed it a whole lot called Orb 3D. And it was basically a 50 stage thing. You have ping pong paddles on a mat on a board. So think Pong, but also think like the grid in the middle has things that you have to try to hit in it. But the whole gimmick with the ball was the ball went above the field and then below the field, and you can hit a button to make it go through the field and go the other direction. So like there'd be bubbles, and you try to pop the bubbles by getting the ball to be underneath it or above it, and then go through and pop the bubble and go on. And there were like different stages. Like there's a tic-tac-toe stage. There may have been like an asteroid stage where things were moving and you had to try to get them. But it was just a lot of fun for me. And I know the game doesn't get great reviews, but I have fond memories of playing it multiple times because it was there to rent.
Sure. I mean, I look back and the games that I was playing on the NES were none of them are, I don't know if they aged the best, but like,
yeah,
Kung Fu, I played a ton of, and I loved playing that. And now, like, I don't even know if I could play it again. Like, I don't think it was that good, but man, I really, really loved playing it. Or like X-Men. I don't know if you remember the top-down X-Men game, how awful that was. But I loved playing it. It's like there were so many awful games that it was just because it was brand new and fresh. And it was like, that's what we had.
There were a few of us in the neighborhood that had Nintendo systems, and some of them had bought games. Like I remember Dino Wars with dinosaurs that shot lasers.
Yeah.
And somebody had an NES Track and Field with the mask.
Yes. Yeah. That was awesome.
I got to play those there. Otherwise I don't remember a whole lot. I think we got a few Mega Mans rented because they were always there. Mega Man 2, Mega Man 3.
That's quality though. Those ones have stood the test of times. Were you playing Zelda? Do you remember playing the original Legend of Zelda or Zelda 2?
The funny thing about that one, funny story around that. I used to live in Kenosha, Wisconsin, and in 1990 we moved up to near a place in Green Bay called Ashwaubenon, Wisconsin. And like parents are trying to, we moved, so they have to unpack everything and put in the thing. So they said, "Here, we're gonna let you rent a game for your Nintendo. You can just play that while we unpack and set everything up." So I went there. It's like, oh, like cool. They have Legend of Zelda. I want to try that one. So we got Legend of Zelda, took it home, and then found out, oops, it was actually Zelda 2, not Zelda 1. I still played it. I didn't beat it at that time because I was not that good, but I eventually did go back, rent it, and finish it off. And eventually did go back and rent the original Legend of Zelda.
Was it hard just renting games? Because, those games are hard. And when you rent them, you get them for what, 3 nights or whatever? Was it
actually 3 nights? Games like that. Yeah, I was young. I was going to 7th grade. So like 12, 13, somewhere in there. I don't know ages well. I was 12 or 13. And like I would play them, and if I couldn't beat them, we'd have to return them and be like, okay, well, I can try again a different time. Things like Zelda aren't that bad because I guess you have a save. The worst one was trying to beat Final Fantasy IV or Final Fantasy II on the Super Nintendo. Yeah. And I had to rent that one 4 times. And every time, like at the end of 3 days, I would get to a specific spot and I just could not get past it until like you would rent it and make it so that the last day you return it would be Christmas Day. And they're not open, so you have to keep it for 2 more days. You have to game the system that way.
Strategy.
And I finally beat it that time because I got to keep it for 5 days instead of 3.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was good. Awesome. You never rent the same cartridge twice, so you never get the same one.
That's the problem. Yeah, it's not like you had a save file. It was saved to the actual cartridge. So you turn the cartridge in, whoever gets it next is probably just going to erase it and start over, right? Or you might not even get that same cartridge. So constantly starting over. That is,
and as get back, is like, can I swap this for a different one? I'll see the save on the other one.
Yeah. Oh man, that's good.
Yeah, those are good times.
Did you save up money for the Super Nintendo, or
after moving, did the same thing, got a paper route, and then saved up, and when the Super Nintendo came out, I got that too.
Was there any thought of saving money for the Sega Genesis instead?
No, I hadn't really thought about it. I had a friend who had one too, and just so if I wanted to play one, I could go to his house and play it. Same thing with Super Nintendo and me. You come over to my place, play Super Nintendo. So between us, we had 2. It worked out.
That's smart. Yeah, I had to go to my cousin's house who wasn't close to play Sonic. And it always felt like it was like way more exciting, but that was just because I didn't have access to it all the time, you know?
Oh yeah.
You get kind of bored with what you have and then try to you get excited for the things that are fresh or new. I remember like Echo the Dolphin came out. I'm like so obsessed, like, what is this? And the game was not good, but it just seemed so cool and different than, what I was playing, which was Super Mario World and Link to the Past and F-Zero. But
yeah, I was still big into RPGs, so I had Final Fantasy 2 and Final Fantasy 3 as they were named for Nintendo. Found a cartridge of Ogre Battle. And so just had lots of fun with those. But I also had a few friends that I could just trade games with. So like I would trade Final Fantasy 3 for like Mega Man 6 or no, Mega Man X was one on Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
And we just trade off, and you do that with cartridges.
Yep.
You can't really do that when you have like digital games.
Sure. Yeah. I mean that when you have physical media, right? Like physical media is just pretty absent. I know there's some people still collect like records or Blu-rays or whatever, but everything's mostly digital now. It's harder to trade stuff. I'll let you borrow my game, and I'll let you borrow. I don't know. It just doesn't happen the way it used to.
Yeah, but PlayStation ones, I still used to buy like PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4 discs instead of just doing the download thing. Mm-hmm. And then eventually it's like people stop. Like I keep offering, hey, you have this. You want to play this game? And they're like, not really. Or yeah, but I already downloaded it. And it's like, oh, well, okay, never mind.
Yeah. So how did you find the draw of RPGs? Did you play like Dungeons and Dragons before that, or was it just you somehow stumbled upon an RPG that kind of piqued your interest? Was it Final Fantasy?
It was the Dragon Warrior 1, actually. That free giveaway from Nintendo Power. So
nice.
Free, quote unquote, you have to get a subscription.
Sure.
But I got that one and I played it. I played Mario Brothers before that and Duck Hunt and so the Mega Man, so like platformers were fine. But then that was the first one. That was after the move too. So after I played Zelda 2.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the whole Dragon Warrior 1 and being one person going around and the fights are turn-based. You have to like have reflexes to do them. Mm-hmm. And that was fun. And then after that one, I went and bought Final Fantasy 1 because I think it just came out not too long ago, not too long after the Dragon Warrior thing. And so I got that one, and I had a lot of fun playing through that as well. And so I just like triggered in my brain. It's like, hey, RPGs are fun.
Yeah.
I didn't really get into D&D at that time. I did later when I moved down to Indiana. There was a group that I got into with D&D, but it wasn't. It was more like RPGs led into D&D than vice versa.
Sure, that makes sense. I just find it interesting because like it sounds like we're around the same age, and the JRPG boom, I feel like didn't really happen around where I was until like Final Fantasy VII came out. I just don't feel like we had access to a lot of those games, or they weren't as popular.
I think you're right. It was the PlayStation era. Because that's where all the RPGs went when Nintendo went to the Nintendo 64. Yeah. I didn't follow it there because the RPGs were all going to PlayStation. Right? I don't know if it's better graphics, there's more bigger disc size.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 8, Legend of Dragoon. I'm sure there were a lot more. I could go look at my
Sure.
shelf because I bought a whole bunch of them. It's like, yeah, these RPGs are fun. I want to play them. Blue Dragon. I think I remember that one. The guy who made Dragon Ball Z, the art for that. Okage Shadow King. I remember that one as well. It's like things that got me started on the PlayStation kick of just getting RPGs and playing them.
Yeah.
Beyond the Beyond, but I don't recommend anyone play that one.
So when were you still again saving up money to buy those systems? And when it came to PlayStation or 64, you made the decision, I'm going with Sony.
I don't remember like how N64 came out in relation to PlayStation, like which one came first, or maybe I skipped one there, here or there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's also what, GameCube?
Yeah, GameCube was after the 64.
GameCube was after, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so N64, yeah, I skipped that one. I think I by that time I was in college and had a job, so I could afford PlayStation more easily.
No more paper routes.
No more paper routes. Actual job. Yeah, at that point, yeah, I followed the PlayStation because that's where the RPGs were. I had looked at the Nintendo 64. Like I roomed with somebody who had a GameCube at one point and played some of the games on it, but it just I didn't get into it.
Mm-hmm.
I had not found out about Mario and the Mario Luigi RPG or Mario.
Oh yeah.
Paper Mario. That's the one.
Right.
Like I still haven't played the original one. I played Thousand Year Door, not the original. PlayStation just had it seemed like the majority of RPGs.
Yeah.
Were all the rage at the time.
Mm-hmm. So after PlayStation, do you begin to step into like computer gaming, or where does gaming go for you as it evolves?
Good question. I had the PlayStation with PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3. I didn't really get into computer gaming, like Steam stuff, until I take it back. Like the classics for like Blizzard, like Warcraft 2 and Diablo. Like I was into those when I was in college. Did a little Warcraft 2. Is one of my first experiences getting into IRC was getting into a Warcraft 2 online community. Which made it easy to get into the SGL community when there are SRL.
Mm-hmm.
I forget the acronyms. But anyways, yeah. So like computer gaming had always just been there. Like it did a little bit of EverQuest when it came out. I had friends who were hardcore into that. But yeah, like Diablo, Warcraft 2. So it's just always at the back of the mind. Didn't really get hard into it until like PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4 era, when it's like, okay, well, there are all these games on here. I just don't have to go past PlayStation 4 because they're getting released for computer anyways.
Right.
So that's when it kind of made that shift to computer gaming. And now that Final Fantasy 16 came out, I don't have to get the PlayStation 5 at all. That's why I got a PlayStation 4. It's like Final Fantasy 13 is coming out for this. I need to get a PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
And 16 just didn't have the same draw for me for getting a PlayStation 5 going. It's coming out on PC. I can just get it in a year.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I PC gaming, especially now, it feels like the way to go over consoles. But that's just, I don't know if that's just an old man opinion. Just because, I don't know, it feels like, I don't know, I don't have the draw to get a PS5 or a Xbox One. Or
you probably have a computer for other things, so you're just piggybacking off those other things to do gaming.
Yeah,
whereas you get a whole console, it's going to cost me like what, $500, $600 if I want to play Final Fantasy 16. Whereas I wait for it to come on a PC, it costs me $80. That's right. So it's a cost benefit thing too.
You're worth waiting for, to save that money. So did you ever get into speedrunning or the idea of speedrunning? And do you remember when you first started watching like Twitch or even Justin TV back in the day?
I never watched Justin TV. I did look up when I started watching Twitch, and that was around 2014.
Okay.
I actually got into it because I was Binding of Isaac had come out, and I was having a lot of fun with Binding of Isaac. Roguelikes are just a lot of fun, I think. So like Binding of Isaac had come out, the expansions had come out, and I was searching online because there's all these achievements for it for millions of things. Say millions, it's probably got about 1,000 achievements by now. And I was searching for stuff, and I came across the Binding of Isaac League Racing. And I'm like, what is this? People actually race this? and it was run by a guy called Crumps2 on Twitch. And that was one of my first experiences with Twitch, watching people run games. And then I found out about the GDQs from there. And actually from Crumps2 is where I found out about Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise, because he also did that sometimes. And from there, it's like, okay, well, you got these things, they're cool. Get to the GDQs. I see people doing like races on there, speed running. Like, that's how I got into the randomizer stuff. I've never actually thought about speed running a game myself. I'm probably known for not having a time for the whatever the Zelda speed run is.
The NMG runs.
NGL. No NMG. No major glitch.
Yeah.
I don't have a time for that because I've just not felt the need to like try to speed run to see how quickly I can do that. I've thought like if I run across a game that I might want to speed run, then I might try to do it, but I've yet to come across one that just calls to me, because a lot of times like, you got to find all the glitches that let you go out of bounds and do stuff and beat it really quickly, and it's like I don't want to look for those.
I just want to play the game.
I'll play the game, kind of how it's intended, but you know, just go fast.
Yeah, for sure. So you start watching Twitch, and then you said Final Fantasy Enterprise was the first randomizer you tried. Right. That was just because it seemed cool and one of your favorite games? It
was the first one I ran across. That's why. I ran across that one, like Crumps2, and played some of it. So I'm like, oh, this is neat. I like this game. I know it. I've beaten it a few times. I wonder if I can get into this. And so I tried getting into it, and it was a lot of fun. So then, like, I would see about, okay, I want to branch out though. Where are the other ones that are here? So there's a Link to the Past randomizer. Let's try that one. There's what's this SMZ3 thing? And as I gave that one a shot, I still have the screenshot of finishing my first seed. It took almost 7 hours. And so I know I did it first time on Christmas Day, 2018.
That's
and then
awesome.
Joined Link to the Past a month later, January 16th, 2019. And then just took off from there, and the ALTP stuff took over the Final Fantasy IV stuff.
So when you first start playing Link to the Past randomizer, where do you go? Do you just start downloading seeds and maybe like go to the Reddit? Or what do you do? What's I don't know, what was your introduction to the whole game and experience?
Historically, the way I've done any kind of randomizer thing is I watch a lot of it on Twitch first. So I probably watched a whole bunch of Link to the Past randomizer before that I joined the Discord in January 2019. And I just watched people run, because I've played Link to the Past, but I don't know where everything is. I've never 16'd the game before. So I got to get familiar with, okay, where is everything? Same thing for Enterprise. I watched a lot of that. Like the first like Highway to the Zenith Zone was going on when I found out about it. So I like watched good runners run and just do stuff there. Same thing with Link to the Past. I watched like the weeklies and the dailies, or I jump on the IRC and see, hey, when's a race going, and see if it's being restreamed. And then from there, it's like
the IRC. It's just so funny. Yeah. Thinking back when we had to use IRC to race, it's just. I mean, it sounds like you were familiar with it, so it wasn't too much of a barrier of entry for you. But
I've been on IRC for a while.
Yeah,
doing both Warcraft 2 stuff and also Magic the Gathering. Because communal places to play, there weren't many of them. IRC was going for that.
So hold on, how did you play Magic the Gathering on IRC? What did you use IRC for?
We used it. There was a kind of a league on it. Little like tournament things that they could join, and there was some kind of software we used in order to get to it. I don't remember the name of it because it was so long ago.
Okay.
I do. Apprentice. We used Apprentice to like connect up and play, and another place to where I was a Magic judge for them for a while. Not an official like Magic the Gathering judge, but just like I knew the rules and stuff, so I did work for them.
When did you start playing Magic?
I started playing Magic back in 1996.
So almost after almost after it began.
I think it started in 1995 or 94.
It was 93 or 94, I think, is the first year, but you got into it early. And late 95 is when I started, because I was my early year of early senior year of college. I graduated at 18, started when I was 17, so 95. After all the Alpha Beta Unlimited stuff came out, and I think the
set that was just released was Dark.
Mm.
So after Legends, I'll say.
So
I missed out on all the good things.
have you played since then consistently?
On and off. I played pretty consistently when I got down to Indiana because I had there were a group of people that I knew that played. So I played in some tournaments. I made the top 8 in Indiana States one year.
Wow.
Actually, and twice that year. Once for constructed, once for draft or sealed. Back at Rabnickel Block. And then did some team things too because they had two-headed giant tournaments. Friend and I made the top 4 there, and then around I don't remember what year it was, probably around 2008 or so. I had a really bad experience at a shop up in Michigan, and then just killed my desire to play any kind of in-person Magic. So that kind of cut off, and I haven't really played much since. Dabbled a little bit when some sets came out. Magic Arena makes it easier to play online, so I don't have to go to a store. And I just dabbled a little bit. It's like, hey, this set's fun. The Kaldheim, the Norse set, that was a lot of fun. The D&D set that came out. I'm really looking forward to the Final Fantasy set that's coming out this year.
Yeah, along with Spider-Man, right after that Spider-Man set, which is crazy to think there's going to be a standard set that is not Magic, but Final Fantasy, and then a standard set that is Spider-Man. That just blows my mind a little bit.
Yeah, they've really been going into those lately, and the fans, some of the fans like them, but it's very polarizing as to these sets. And a lot of people don't like the Final Fantasy going to be a set, but I'm going to love it. I'm going to get a box.
Sure, if you're as a Final Fantasy fan, you got to love that, right? For sure.
Oh yeah,
I understand that.
I don't play much anymore, but I got a box of the D&D set. I'm going to box of this one. I got a box of the Doctor Who.
Yeah. Can I ask what went wrong? Like what happened in that turned it off? Was it people being too competitive, or
it was people just being belligerent and threatening the store owner because something didn't go their way, and it was just some of the people in the Magic the Gathering fan set are just they have those egos and they have to be right all the time, and they just I traveled all that way for it from Indiana to Michigan, and just that experience and the fact that some of the people that I played with in Indiana had quit at the same time just meant that I didn't really have many other people to play with, and so that was it.
Yeah, that's rough. That is pretty rough. It's definitely different nowadays with Arena and Magic Online being prevalent, like playing online. But I don't know. There's something about playing paper Magic that's just a little bit more special in my opinion.
I agree.
And I also don't have that anymore. It's just not there for me, but it is what it is.
I like how we've done Magic drafts at the last 2 SGLs.
Oh, have you?
Yes.
We
did one. Somebody brought a box of something 2 years ago, and then last year, 2024, somebody brought a box of the Mystery Booster. One of the custom cards.
Awesome.
And we had a lot of fun with that. I'm sorry, I'm not remembering the name of who that was. But yeah, we had a lot of fun with that one, and we'll probably do it again this year.
Yeah, it's always good when you have good people to play with. It just makes it so much better.
Yeah.
So,
Agreed.
All right. So 2018 or early 2019, you start playing. What does it look like from there? Do you after you're watching online and learning? Do you start racing? Do you have goals? What does it look like for you?
From there, I think I did a few races. I don't know about races. I more shadowed races. I didn't jump into them. I took the seed from them and then ran it on my own to see how I would compare with them. I didn't want to just jump in and be let's take last in this race because I don't know what I'm doing. That's also about the time we got into multiworld. So in multiworld, you need to check everything pretty much. So it's a way to learn the game and find out, okay, where do I need to go for everything? I try to do a few new games in multiworlds every time just so I can learn where I need to go and everything in a casual environment.
Sure.
And
who are you playing multiworlds with?
I was playing them. They were pretty standard in the back in the before Archipelago. Was it the Berserker multiworld?
Yeah.
there was a Discord for that. I mean, it was in the ALTTPR Discord. I don't remember which. But yeah, like they would just put out calls for multiworlds and we'd join them. They'd be like 15, 20 people all playing Zelda. Link to the Past. Back when it was just beginning, I guess in its infancy. And yeah, we'd just play and have a good time. And that way I would kind of learn the game at a nice pace. Like, okay, I got hammer. What can I go do with hammer? How do I get to that spot? Oh, I need a cape. And from watching the games, watching people race, and from doing multi-worlds, I got familiarity with the game that made me feel like, okay, now I can maybe start trying to join races. And the other thing about that time was that, you put out the calls for people to commentate or to track. And so I said, well, there's our way to learn how to play the game is you watch people play it and you really focus on them when you are tracking them. That's why I've signed up to track, and I've just been a prolific tracker ever since.
Yeah, for real. I mean, like, tracking is one of those jobs it's pretty thankless. It's behind the scenes. I think commentators for the most part do a good job of thanking them, but it's a very behind the scenes sort of job, but it's like super necessary because trying to watch a race without a tracker is just, honestly, it's kind of miserable because you don't know what's going on. And yeah, having you track the races has been awesome.
Ever try to watch randomizers like AGDQ or SGDQ and they don't have a tracker on the screen? Like I watch, I know they've done some like co-op Pokemon Crystal ones or Pokemon different version ones, but you don't see on the screen like what they have. So like I can't follow that really well from my perspective. So yeah, watching a race and not having any kind of tracking on the screen is it's difficult on the viewer. So having that trackers are important. Having the commentators talk about is important. But if I'm watching the race anyways, why not track it? Because I'm focused. It makes me focus on it more, and I can see what people are doing.
Yeah. I mean, I've just been behind the scenes, right? Like I've commentated a lot of races. I put on the league, and I've worked with speed gaming a lot. So I would be the one putting out the call a lot of the times for trackers and commentators and stuff. And I've just seen how many times that you stepped in to fill in when it was really needed. And it's just so appreciated.
Yeah, I watch for the calls for the emergency trackers. Like, hey, we need somebody in an hour. Cool, I'm in. I can be. Unfortunately, like with my work schedule now, it's like I work Pacific Coast hours. I work till 8 p.m. So I've had to not do some of the, like that 6 to 8 p.m. time is a good time for races to happen because it's like right after work and people want to wind down by, hey, I'm going to do a race. And just as I can only do late night ones now, unfortunately. I enjoy tracking. I think it's a needed thing for putting on a show to the viewers, and it also helps me pick up strategies. And when you have to really focus on somebody to track them and see what they're picking up, what they're doing, you also watch them for their strats, and that's also helped me improve as a runner doing that. Because I pick up things to do in different rooms, different strategies with different items, and that's another reason why I track is to learn things.
Sure. Did you set up goals for yourself? Like, were you trying to make tournaments, or I don't know? Well, obviously you don't have to qualify for most tournaments, but like the main tournament, were you trying to qualify for that, or was there any like goals you set on early on, or was it literally just like, I enjoy this. This is fun. I'll get better as I play more, sort of thing.
Two pieces to that. I do enjoy the game, so I still haven't gotten bored of playing Link to the Past Randomizer because there's all sorts of different modes and things to it. So it's I like playing the game, but I'm also a very competitive person. I like competing at things. So when races happen or tournaments happen, it's like, cool, I want to see how I stack up against other people. Can I actually advance to things? How far can I get in here? I guess I missed the big 512 person Link to the Past Swiss tournaments. That was the year before I joined Link to the Past. So I've gotten to a few of the main tournaments, and really just to see how well I can do against people. And I haven't made the main tournament in like 3 years. I did lose to the champion of that one though, so that was at least that was a crazy time. That one.
Which one?
It was the 2002. I brought it up on 2022, 2023. No, 2022. I was right. The one
obscure one. Okay.
Yes. I played him in the round of 32 somehow.
So you qualified. So not only did you qualify for the tournament, you made brackets then.
That was the last year I made brackets, was 2022.
Okay.
That one also has a very funny story behind it.
Let's hear it.
Because in that group, it was Furious Magic, me, and 2 other people who I'll have to look up. I remember that one specifically because Furious Magic. We got paired again in the first round of brackets.
Oh.
After having been in groups, and we were the only ones. Fry and Yukikaze were the other 2.
Okay.
And I went 3-3, and I'm like, oh, well, I'm probably not going to make it because, Fry's going to just beat Yukikaze and make it, and then Yukikaze, sprung a win on him at the very end. So I'm like, oh, I guess I'm excellently making brackets. Okay. I did not expect that because the first week of brackets, that 2-week window that we had to play, my mom and I were scheduled to go out to Washington and Oregon to visit national parks, something we do. That was our second time doing it with our niece. So 3 of us went out there, and we were leaving that Sunday. So I had the best experience match. It's like, okay, can we do a game at midnight when we can first play? Because otherwise I can't play until Saturday evening, Sunday, and that's it. So we got our first game in, and he beats me, as expected. And then I went on vacation, and I came back, and we took the train out there. Amtrak is a great way to get across country. And it's a 3-day ride, though. So that's fun. But coming back from Seattle all the way to Lafayette, Indiana, I get off the train, and my roommate picks me up. I get back to the house. I have 45 minutes to set up for my game 2.
Oh, my gosh.
And I somehow win. And I'm like, okay, I didn't expect that. Game 3 tomorrow, and then game 3 the next day. I also won somehow. I think it's because we got key sanity modes. This was the card drawing one, where randomly picked a card out of the 5 modes, and I think we got 2 key sanities for our games 2 and 3, and that may be how I won because I don't think we had any in our first 2 matches. And then I went on to play Obscure, and I don't remember what happened the first game, but I somehow won it, and then I just fell apart. And I lost the next 2. I remember the third one was a key sanity, and I don't know why I did this, but I took Zelda's. I skipped Zelda's cell and took the key to the back because I knew Obscure was good, and I needed to do something with it. And it turns out Zelda's cell had the swamp small key.
Oh no!
Kind of importance.
Yeah.
I grabbed that, and later when I was last locating, okay, I'm grabbing this. I'm going through swamp. I need to catch up. Let's get left side swamp. And of course, left side swamp had the mitts in order to finish. And it just went downhill from there. Just me trying to, the danger of cool things, which is the thing from Magic too. The danger of cool things, I'm going to go in the back of Hyrule Castle and get cool things. And nope, it burned. Yeah. So I guess I kind of threw that game. I don't know if I had a chance anyways, but just remember that about that one. And Obscure went on to win the whole thing, so actually I don't mind losing to him.
Sure.
And then we met at SGL, not this last one, but 2023, and we had dinner, and that was great. And he's a cool guy.
That's awesome. I mean, top 32, right? That's not easy. That's not easy to get to.
No, really good competition out there, and Furious Magic should have won in advanced, honestly. He's really good, and he has been good since then too. He made brackets last year, I think.
Yeah. Were you in the main tournament this last year?
I did not make it past brackets, unfortunately, or past groups. Unfortunately, our group. This last year I did terrible. I think I went 1-5. It just was not going well for me. The year before that, I went 2-4, and our group was 4-2, 3-3, 3-3, 2-4. I couldn't win that last game to force a three-way play-in race.
Yeah,
or for second place. But it was the. I've not been doing well at the main tournament. I do much better at League. Kind of.
Well, yeah. I mean, looking at your record, season 2, you guys go 6-8. Season 3, 11-3 was your season score, and then going to the, you looks like you lost to Fromp's time, which I think ended up becoming an invitational team. Season 4, you're an invitational. A little rough that year, 5-9, but you go 8-6 and 9-5 the last couple of years, and obviously made the conference finals last year. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and it's a team thing. Flipio and PRD kind of carry me. I think I try to like do my stuff. I think I was the only person in the top 4 teams last year to have a losing personal record. Not something I'm proud of, but it's just
Yeah.
one of those weird statistical things.
But that's what makes the league awesome, right? Like it's a team thing. It's not necessarily about your individual record. It's about how well your team does. And
Especially the moving to co-op in the playoffs. Yeah, like it's how well you work as a team together.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
Not the 3 one-on-one games.
Yeah, and I think that's how it's going to be this season too. They're going to be playoffs again in the. No, I don't think there's
no pilot spoiler.
Pilot spoiler, so you can't spoil me there if we end up meeting there. And also, Shireen's not on my team, so I don't have to worry about anybody choking. And
it's usually me choking.
I just like to give Shireen a hard time because
he's a good guy, good runner.
No, Shireen's awesome. Shireen's the best. Yeah. But and like that race was a close one. It was both people played well, both people made mistakes, and it 8 seconds is like so close. It's just so close.
A great game 3. Hey, that's how it should be at the end. That close, almost a tie.
Yeah. So that was cool. Are you guys coming back for season number 7?
We are coming back for season 7. The same 3 of us.
Nice.
I think we signed up. I'm pretty sure I signed us up.
Okay, fingers crossed.
That's my fault. I'm pretty sure I signed us up.
Yeah. Have you found like your people or community? Do you feel like, because you've been involved have you gone to the last couple? Did you go last year to Speed Gaming Live as well?
I went there. This is my 3rd year. Was last year. So yeah, I've been there 3 times. It's been a blast every time. And everybody is awesome there. That's my first time doing volunteer. Also, I did set up and tear down.
Oh, okay.
And they've been working with the volunteer people like MM2 and it was Athlete Duck. Athlete Duck is the one running it. That was all great times. I mean, just we're all working together, and then we're all playing together, and then we're all tearing stuff down. It was everybody's awesome there. Mm-hmm. I have no complaints at all.
So tell me about your first experience going in. I guess 3 years ago. Excuse me. Were you nervous? Was it? I don't know. What was your feelings going into the first one?
There's always a bit of nerves going to the first meetup. It's like, I know these people online. How are they going to be in person? And the first day I got there, I actually had to drive down to Fredericksburg to meet a friend of mine who had moved out there like a year ago. And then I came back. So Wednesday was pretty much a shot. So Thursday it was like, yep, okay, let's just jump into it. Let's meet people and then finally get to do things. I think I got to meet like my room with Flipio on that first time. And I think we got dinner with Warfjig and maybe just spent the 3 of us. Maybe Ridley was there also. And then just after that, doing the actual gameplay and meeting everybody in the games and meeting people in like the board game room. Meeting the Final Fantasy 1 people. That was everything's right there. Through my trade people. Watching all the games, doing some tracking for them. Yeah. Somehow making Saturday games and being too busy then. I did have to leave Sunday like early, so I didn't get to hang around as much as I wanted to. I made sure to fix that this last year where I didn't leave till Monday and got there early on Wednesday. Yeah. Just so I could just hang out with more cool people.
Sure. What about the experience of playing in person? That's quite different than playing online.
It is. It's very different. Just being in a room with in the tournament room, there's like 20, 30, maybe 40 people in there at a time, all racing together, and you can hear the controllers and keyboards and all the different people running. I'm probably infamous for having my luggage thing with my computer in it. I'm carrying it around everywhere doing setup. It's just I haven't gotten a little console thing yet. I have one, but I haven't gotten accustomed to playing it yet. So maybe next year. But yeah, like all 3 years, I just carry around my computer and get it set up and then and then go. And being in person it's a lot different because you setting up on the single monitor, I can't track as much as I want to. I don't have a timer set up because I have to take off the keyboard or do other things, so I can't start a timer. So not knowing how long I've been running is that's the worst part of it.
Sure.
It's like, how far am I into this? 'Cause I'll look down the clock when I'm doing the online ones. They'd be like, oh my God, so now we're in 10 minutes in? Are we serious? It's not feeling that long. I'm way behind. And you don't get that feeling when you're in person because you have no idea.
Yeah, it is fun. It is crazy.
Also, just looking across to see keep watching up. It's like instead of watching a race room, you're watching for that hand raise. And anytime somebody raises a hand, it's like, oh, is that my opponent? No, shoot, back to racing.
Yeah, I haven't done a featured. I only did one race there, but racing was my thing. But I imagine racing on the restream is also pretty tough because you're facing your opponent. It's just so different than online racing, right? Like it's just so different. But
it is because you also have a crowd watching you, and that can be a little intimidating.
For sure.
I was restreamed 4 times this year. 3 in Final Fantasy 1, 1 in SMZ3.
Wow.
And I must have annoyed Rick enough to have him put me out there. Because I got the very first one, and then I got the SMZ3 against Aussie, and like every time you're up there, it's like getting set up. Okay, I got my headset in, and the white noise makes it so much different than like racing at home, because at home, it's kind of quiet. You got your game sounds on.
Yeah.
There you got that little white noise at the back, and it's just always there, and it's different. It's a little bit to get used to. But having to have earphones for the game sound, also that very first game on Saturday in the first year I was at SGL, where I did not have game audio because I didn't have a set of earbuds. I didn't expect to make Saturday, and to be on Restream, and I just had to play a game without audio, which is also very different.
Yeah, that's tough. That's really tough. Rooms. Oh yeah, for sure.
Totally should have lost that game against Matt 79.8, but he skipped the Samarian Eastern, and I died and struggled trying to get the dark room Samaria block in Meyer. I thought, there's no way I'm winning this. You couldn't have. It's just so hard. Yeah.
So not only are you playing Rando SMZ3, but you're doing the other randos. How do you have time for anything?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Our groups have grown in SGL, and when my first year there, I was in a group of 4, so we only had to do like 3 games, and then we had a play-in race that we had to do at the end because we went 3-0, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 because Relkin destroyed everybody that tournament. And so that time it's like, okay, well, I got that one. SMC3 was just a single elimination, so I figured, okay, I'm gonna win a game and then lose to whoever I could play against in that one, which turned out to be Solsky. Somehow I accidentally won that one, and then had to play on stream against Maniacal. So I mean, the Saturdays, those ones they were fine. It's just like, okay, 3 plus then some games. This last tournament, or this last SGL, I think we had groups of 6. We had to get 5 games in instead of I think they had groups of 5, so there were 4 normally. So it didn't leave a whole lot of time to do much else.
Yeah,
you try to sneak in food there occasionally and work around things. It was really, really busy, but still try to make time to, talk to people, stay up late, maybe not get as much sleep.
It's cool though. I mean, like I definitely had a case of FOMO seeing all the pictures and videos and streams from this last year. So I may attempt to come back out for SGL 2025.
Yeah, I hope you can make it. I mean, I've been trying to hang out with different groups of people now. Like this last year, it was I got Zerubian to come out. So Zerubian and Belief and the rest of the crew there, the branch crew. And I don't know with them a bunch. Before that is like my team, the Vamps Discord team, the Slapeel and SB Ridley and Werfjig. Otherwise, just trying to hang out with other people. And if people want me to come track something for them, I will. And Clearmouth asked me to track some things. So,
yeah. So are you happy with where you're at in the rando community? I mean, you've been here for years now and done everything. What's the future for Eykir? You still good with the way things are?
I think I mostly am. The one thing I want to get into more is commentary. I have done commentary exactly once, and it was for main tournament about was that like 2 months ago, 3 months ago, when Maniacal asked me to com with him because our teammates were playing each other in like the round of 16 or 32, don't remember which. So that's the first time I've ever commentated for Link to the Past randomizer. I'm always afraid I'm going to like forget things. Like, I forget things when I'm racing. I'm going to forget things when I'm being on commentary. So I would like to get into commentary more. And for my position, I work as like a project manager at my job. So it's like I need to talk to customers anyways. And this would get me more into being able to talk more about, like, just get used to doing that.
Sure. Yeah, that's awesome.
Otherwise, yeah, I'm pretty good with my position. I don't feel the need to like grind Link to the Past randomizer to be like the best person in the world. It's just, play it as it comes, and you'll play a little different tournament modes. Like we got the Doors League, which I've never actually done, but maybe someday. The Avian Arts, the little mini tournament things that go on, just to get some more experience and just have fun.
You going to be playing Doors for your team in the league this year?
Probably not, but we'll see. We haven't really decided who's playing what yet. We'll determine more when we see what the matchups are.
Yeah.
PRD is the Doors person. He made a tracker for it, and just has done a whole bunch of work with Doors. And then Flippio likes playing Doors also. So it may be those two, but it being beginner Doors instead of like full Doors may dissuade PRD from doing it. We haven't decided. But I'm practicing it in case I do get the call to play it.
Yeah. Well, let's end this with a question that I ask everyone, and that's about tilt. Do you get tilted? And if you do, how do you handle your tilt?
Oh, tilt. I have been tilted at times. Yes. The game 3 against who did I play against game 3?
Obscure.
Obscure. Yes, I knew it was the O word. I couldn't think of the O. I keep thinking orange. Which we have an orange in our Discord, and it's different from the orange that actually plays Link to the Past randomizer. Okay. But yeah, like on that one, I went on tilt early when I realized I missed that swamp key, and then I didn't handle it very well afterwards. Then you panic and try to skip things and make shortcuts and catch back up, and that's usually how tilt gets me in Link to the Past randomizer. It's like I last located something, I need to catch up. I need to start like making weird choices, or like I'm playing somebody really good, especially like in SMZ3 where I'm playing like an Aussie or a Solsky or Maniacal, and it's like, okay, I need to do things that give me an edge, and then if they don't work out, then it's like, I'm way behind, I panic. How do I don't handle it well.
What happens when you tilt? Do you just start playing worse, or do you get mad at yourself? What happens when you
start
tilt?
Taking risks? And risky things can be a problem. Actually, in that one against Shireen, where I was going to pot and realized, I'm short money. Oh, crap. PRD, can you find me some money real quick? And then I just started going back. It's like, maybe these guys have money. Help. And then that Murderdactyl dropped a 20, exactly what I needed. Because like PRD mentioned, it's like, there's a 300 in there, but we don't need it yet, so we're just going to skip it for now. And that almost cost us. But lucky thing there. So I was still like kind of panicked from then on. The tilt never really went away from there. A lot of it's just like repetition. So you just I try to fall back into that. I've been through this dungeon many times, hundreds of times probably by this point. Just try to fall back into that, muscle memory, play the game mode, and let the kind of try to get the feelings to wash away. Doesn't always work, but that's how I try to handle it. Not very successful, but working on it.
I don't think it ever is perfected. It's like, it feels like it's a lifelong journey that you have to kind of manage, but it's just, can you manage it? And it feels like, I don't know, feels like you do a pretty good job of it. Yeah,
that's kind of what has led me to be the whole like clear everything person. Like I will always do left side swamp, except when I don't in tournament last year.
Sure.
Or whatever I was doing last year where I skipped left side swamp and I had ice draw. I don't remember what tournament that was now. And like always doing Eastern big chest, even though it's maybe a 50-50 or big key chest. Just always doing everything, because if people skip things, that's how they get ahead. Maybe I can just catch up that way. So I try not to get into the mode where it's going to be a panic situation. tilting me. But playing cross keys, you get into that all the time.
Sure.
You last locate a lot in there. Or be like, oh, if I just gone right one more, I would have gotten boots.
Yep.
Oh well.
Yeah.
It's a work in progress.
For sure. Well, dude, thanks so much for doing this. Really appreciate you coming on the show, and glad to get to know you better. Honestly, like I've known you in the community for quite some time, but hearing your story has been pretty awesome.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Beer. It's been great talking with you, and you're always a great person in here in the community and overall, and just glad to be able to try to chat with you one-on-one.
Just want to thank Eykir for coming on the show. Really appreciated just him being honest and open about his story. It's always just good to hear people's stories and to find out more about them, see what makes them tick, even when it comes to like video games. Hearing about his love for RPGs and tracking and getting into and wanting to get into commentary. I don't know, all that stuff is really good, and I just really enjoyed having Eykir on the show. So huge shout outs to him. Really appreciate it. Don't know who's going to be on the show next. Again, I've got some ideas on people that I want to talk to. Jammo being one, my league teammate. So don't be surprised if we have Jammo here soon. Again, keep a lock on the feed. We'll have those JK LOL episodes up as soon as we can. The league stuff's going on, so check out the ALTTPR League.com website for all the information there. What else? Yeah, reviews. If you could leave reviews on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, again, that really, really helps. Even if it's just a star review, that will help get the show out there. And I think that's it. All right. I really appreciate you listening, taking your time to hear these people's stories. Just fun. I'm really enjoying just talking. And I'm glad you're joining along. So come back next time when we talk to someone. I don't know who it's going to be, but it should be a good time. All right. See ya.